Hi everybody, thank you for joining our postgraduate webinar on computing and engineering. Thank you for joining us. I'm just going to take you through what we're going to be discussing today and going over. So we're going to start with a brief introduction to the University of West London, and we'll then provide an introduction to the School of Computing and Engineering. We'll then go on, you'll hear from my colleague Nino, who'll provide an overview of the MSc in Digital Audio Engineering. And then we'll pass on to Wei, who will provide an overview of the MSc Cybersecurity course. At the end of the session, there will be the opportunity to ask questions. So you'll see that there's a chat function. So please type any of your questions in there and we'll answer those at the end. So in terms of the University of West London, there's a map on screen so you can just see where we're located. We have two different sites within West London. So we have our Ealing Broadway site and our Brentford site. The School of Computing and Engineering is based at our Ealing Broadway site, which is around about 25-30 minutes journey on the Central line. So from Central London, you can get on the Central line or on the District line. We're also located quite near to South Ealing Station, which is connected via the Piccadilly line. Around us as well, we have a lot of parks. So we're surrounded by Gunnersbury Park, Walpole Park. We have Ealing Studios opposite us as well. So if any of you are interested in film and filmmaking, then it's quite an interesting place to be around. There's also lots of shops and cafes that are within walking distance to our Ealing site. Then we have our Brentford site, which there's a shuttle bus that goes between the two sites. So over there, that's located on it's called the Golden Mile or the M4 corridor. So we have a lot of large corporations around there. We've got a few of our academic schools are located over there as well. We also have our university accommodation located close to our Brentford site. You'll see from the map as well, we're very close to Heathrow Airport. So we're around about a 20-minute journey from Heathrow Airport. So that's just a bit of information about where we're located. As I said, the School of Computing and Engineering is based over at our Ealing Broadway site. I just want to go over some of the university's key facts and achievements. So 98% of our graduates are in employment or further study 6 months after graduating. We've climbed 46 places in the Guardian University Guide over the past 2 years, and we're ranked as the 50th university nationally by the Guardian University Guide. I think it's important to notice the rise of this. It's been a as you can see, so we've climbed 46 places in the Guardian University Guide. So I just think it's important to note some of these key achievements. We were also last year highlighted for the Times Higher University of the Year award. The campus as well, if you haven't been to visit it yet, you'll see that a lot of our facilities are very new and very modern. We recently had over £150 million invested into the campus. So a lot of the resources and the equipment that we use are very modern and state-of-the-art. We also finally have a silver award in the Teaching Excellence Framework, which I think really highlights the teaching quality at the university. And we'll go over you'll be hearing from some of our lecturers about the courses that you're interested in. In terms of the courses that we offer within the School of Computing and Engineering, today you're going to hear about the MSc Digital Audio Engineering course and the MSc Cybersecurity course, but I just wanted to highlight some of the other courses that are offered at postgraduate level within that school. So we have an Applied Project Management course, a Civil and Environmental Engineering course, a Civil Engineering Masters, Construction Project Management, Health Informatics, Information Systems, and an integrated MSc Information Systems programme. What I'd like to highlight as well is that these courses we have different start dates. So we are accepting applications for our September starting courses. You'll find that some of these courses also have January starting courses. So if you're looking at January 2020, that information will be updated on our website later on in the year as to how you can apply for those. We also offer master's programs. Some of our master's programs are offered on a part-time basis as well as a full-time basis. So you'll find your typical master's course lasts a year or 12 months. Then we do offer extended master's programs, which are around 15 months, and we offer them part-time, which makes them slightly longer. So it might be that your master's year lasts 2 years. So if you're interested in any of these courses, make sure that when you go on our website, you have a look at the different study options that are available to you. In terms of how to apply for our master's programmes, all applications are made online via the University of West London website. You'll see when you search on the course section, you'll see a green button that says apply now. So you'll need to just click on that. When you start the application process, you'll be asked to provide some of your personal details, and then you'll be asked to provide details of qualifications that you've obtained. If you have any relevant work experience that you've undertaken, whether or not that's paid or unpaid. You'll also be asked to provide the contact details of an academic or professional referee, whichever one is the sort of most relevant at the time. And you'll be asked to provide a personal statement. In terms of the personal statement, that's obviously there to show your interest in the course, why you think you're a suitable candidate for that course, the experience that you have that makes you suitable for the course. There isn't a strict word limit on the personal statement. You have the option to upload a Word document. What I would say though is I wouldn't advise a personal statement being any longer than sort of a page and a half. I think you should be able to get the information across that you want to and the experience that you have within that. That will then be reviewed by our admissions tutors and our academics within the department. So there's many different ways that you can you can come and visit us at the university, as well as holding sort of webinars which are useful, such as this, so you can listen to at home. We also hold twice weekly campus tours, so every Tuesday at 11 o'clock we hold a tour, and every Thursday at 2 o'clock. These run from our St Mary's Road campus, and they're led by our student ambassadors who will give you who will guide you around. We also once a month have a campus tour late, so we appreciate that not everyone will be able to come during the weekday, so we run a campus tour at 6 o'clock, and that's run once a month. So if you're interested in that, please just check our website for the dates, as the days from each month can alter from month to month, so just check our website for that. We also have postgraduate open evenings, so we've got our next one's coming up is in June, on the 20th of June, and that's from 4 till 7 o'clock. And we have one in November, so if you're looking at January 2020 start or September 2020 start, then that would be the one that you might want to go to. So that's on Thursday the 21st of November, from 4 till 7 as well. They're a great opportunity to come have a look at the campus, meet our academics, just get a bit more of a feel for the place and get a bit more information about the course that you're interested in. Okay, so thank you. I'm now going to hand you over to Nino, who is going to give you an overview of the School of Computing and Engineering, and provide information on the Digital Audio Engineering course. Thank you.
Hey everybody, thanks Kate, thanks Helen. So I'm going to be taking you through a few things about the school within the University of West London, so the School of Computing and Engineering. And just give me a moment to get the next slide up, if I can. Just give me a moment. Here we go. Right. So I say I'm Nino Riccio, and I'm a senior lecturer in the school, and I lead the MSc in Digital Audio Engineering program. I've been with the university for approximately 15 years, so I've had quite a lot of experience and seen a lot of changes in the school over those years. So the first thing to mention, move to the next slide. On the screen itself. Just give us a moment, technical issues. So one of the main things, especially within a school which houses essentially all the science, technology and engineering and maths courses, is that accreditation is very important, especially relating to areas of electronic engineering, civil engineering, built environment architecture and so on. So one of the main facts to highlight to you about the courses within the schools is that the majority of them do have professional accreditation from the bodies that are internationally recognized. For example, JBM and SIAT for civil engineering, the IET, Institute of Engineering Technology for the engineering and computing courses as well. Kind of gaining more accreditation as time goes by. Our most recent one was RISC, which they came to visit us on the 6th of February this year, and that was for the Chartered Surveyors accreditation. So generally over the over the last 3-4 years, there's been significant increase in the number of students we have in the school, undergraduate and postgraduate level, right through from foundation year through to postgraduate and doctoral level study as well. So we've grown from being around 500 students to being over 1,100 students now. We also do have collaborative courses that we run with the London School of Science and Technology as well. So that's seen a real, not only increased number of students, but obviously the number of staff and the range of staff we have and their expertise has grown enormous amounts in that period as well. And that's led to a big increase in development of our research culture, which especially at postgraduate level is very, very important. It's not just about learning the basics, you're kind of moving on and sort of progressing sort of beyond what you would do at undergraduate level in your degree. And it's more specialization, but also bringing in more and integrating professional and real life case studies and research studies into teaching, into the classroom. That's something that we kind of pride ourselves on, that we do an awful lot, because we are all research actives, all the academics in the school. We have the highest percentage of PhDs, staff with PhDs, the part of the university, and within a subject such as this. That's very, very important. So we've had an enormous amount of research publications, currently over 400 papers for the last 4 academic years, and mainly this in peer-reviewed journals, but also we present in international conferences, chapters in books, and so on. So, and a lot of public and outreaching research as well, not just papers that get put in journals, also things that really do have immediate impact on life in general. And obviously computing engineering is very much so. Our NS score is above average for the sector. That's the National Student Survey, I should say, the NSS, and particularly for quality of teaching, always scores very, very highly. In terms of our position within the league tables for specific subjects, for civil engineering, we're currently 11th out of 63. For sound engineering, which is my particular area, we are 11th out of 48. And the other note there is computer science, 21st out of 106. So there's been a lot of development over the last few years within the school, and although the school's been in place for a long time, there's been a push into new areas. So for example, we have new areas relating to chartered surveying and mathematics as well, which also have now become part of the school. So in terms of more recent developments, I want to mention about the accreditation of courses, which is pretty much universal across the board. And also in terms of development of our actual teaching resources, in addition to all the new investments in academic staff and research staff that we've had, there's new investments that have taken place in the campus and also within the school with regards to new concrete lab, architecture lab, soils lab. We've had a new electronic engineering project lab put in place, and a lot of new software, everything from CAS and the CAD, sorry, and the software relating to civil engineering and design, but also research based equipment, especially in acoustics and electronic analysis as well. So one of the other main things that we ensure happens within the school is that we have a very strong relationship with industry, and the basis of that are a series of industry advisory committees or industry advisory boards, and there's one of those for each subject group. There's one in engineering, there's one for computing, there are 2 in the civil engineering area of the school, and this is where active members of industry, anything from CEOs of companies through to professionals, freelance professionals. We have periodic meetings where we sit down with professionals, we discuss what's going on in the industry, we courses, and we kind of liaise with them and get advice on what we're currently doing and how we're teaching, how we're using our resources, how we can better alter and develop our modules and the subjects in order to meet the changing requirements of industry, especially in areas such as this. Everything is so fast paced, we can't afford to not be in constant contact with industry. And also, as academics, a lot of us do professional work outside of our teaching as well, whether it's scholarly activity, whether it's creative outputs, whether it's that's obviously very important. We're not just confined to our course within university. We don't know what's going on outside. We always have to make sure that what we're doing is absolutely at the edge of what our expectations of industry, not only in terms of what we're delivering, but also how we're developing students and how. So there's been 2 new centres established recently. One, Farringdon Centre, which is focused on a particular large area of research we have in the school, which is on ground penetrating radar, and that's part of the non-destructive testing research. So rather than, as ground penetrating radar might imply, you're using radar to scan what's under the surface, anything from detecting issues in built structures, bridges, buildings, through to identifying disease, trees, and things like that. There's also a new centre for cybersecurity, which when I pass over to him, well, I'm sure we'll tell you a little bit more about. And also there's a number of student union societies which the students themselves set up and they run. So for example, there's computing society, there's electrical engineering society, there's also an audio programming society, and these do a number of things. They meet, they bring in guest lecturers, they do trips, and it's a way that students can engage and take responsibility themselves for their own extracurricular activities. So and it's really good to see that the students feel enough part of the community of the university that they can go and start run these events themselves. And we're obviously, as academics, we really encourage that and we support them in any way we can. For employability, we're very, very high. It's partly to do with where we are geographically and being so close to so many large companies and corporations, and also in terms of opportunities even for students to become freelance and set up their own businesses as well. Being in London means there are a lot of opportunities in the area, and it kind of translates into our graduate employment statistics. So 98 within 6 months of graduation, and then almost 79% of students in graduate employment in the area specific to what they've been studying within 6 months. So one of the some of the other key things to point out about the school, first of all, is that because the school, we've had a lot of expansion over the last few years, but it's still relatively small, and it's good because we don't have, for example, you will never be in a lecture theatre with 300 other students and a lecture that you never get to see. Courses are relatively modest in size. It means that we can have an open door policy in terms of communication between staff and students. It also means that you get to know your course mates really well. There's better access to facilities, and there's just generally a more collegiate and more community-based feel to the whole school, and it's the case within the university as a whole as well. Obviously, I mentioned about the links with professional bodies, and also this leads to access that you can have as students, membership of those professional bodies as well. So for example, the Audio Engineering Society or the IET, and it means that you get access to not only all the resources and facilities we have here, but also you get access to go to events and access to databases and so on that are relevant to your course outside the university as well. So we do run some courses with work placements and internships, and some of these are built into courses. Some of these are slightly more ad hoc, and students often, they might defer for a year and then come back and work. Often students on postgraduate courses, especially if they're in part-time study mode, taking 2 years to complete their master's degree rather than a single year, often those students have work placements or work in industry alongside their studies, and that kind of gives them the best of both worlds. They're working in industry as well as learning as well. So we do have a lot of PhD staff as well that not only conduct research, but they also run seminars and they run workshops as well, and they assist students. One of the policies we have within the school is that we don't have PhD students teaching students. So PhD students, sometimes they're considered people who can kind of teach in lieu of their research, but in the case we have trained academic staff that do the teaching, and then PhD students that support that process, and also they're very much part of the research body of the school. Okay, so moving on to the course that I run, the MSc in Digital Audio Engineering. This course is relatively new. We've been running it we're in our second year now, so we had our first group of students graduate in last July, and we've got which is a relatively small number, but this year we've got a much larger cohort. In terms of the area of the course itself, it's focusing, as the name would suggest, digital technology and digital audio engineering. So rather than focusing on sound engineering from a point of view of live sound or studio-based sound or broadcasting, or looking at audio electronics or looking at acoustics, it's focusing primarily on the areas of digital design. So whether that's relating to programming, digital signal processing, and so on, which is such a huge area, everything from mobile phones to broadcast through some of these areas on this slide here kind of give you a flavor of these areas. So for example, forensic audio, that's a big area that relates to digital audio engineering, machine learning, virtual reality, ambisonics, telecommunications, broadcasting, and much more creative outputs. So looking at music production, sound design, sound for moving image, and so on. So it's quite a broad-based course, and it's not focused specifically on music production, but it's not also not focused just purely on coding. It is about the theory and the application of digital audio within a number of different industries. So the course structure, just to give you an overview, this would be if you were to do the course full time over a full 12-month period. And for all postgraduate courses, slightly different to undergraduates if you're doing a degree or you've just completed one, where generally you have a year is from September to kind of May, June time. With postgraduate courses, you do your final major project, your dissertation, over the summer. So you go right through to the end of August. So you actually have a full 12-month calendar year on the course if you're to do full time. So for the digital audio engineering course, first semester, so this is September to January, you do research methods module, engineering research methods. And this is standard practice across any postgraduate program. There's always a research methods module that you do, and that's designed to help you get started with your project, but also give you the research skills that you need, which are definitely a step up from what you might be used to at undergraduate level. And then essentially there is kind of several streams within the course. So you'll notice next module for semester 1 is audio programming 1. And then you'll notice in semester 2 there's audio programming 2. This focuses on the use of MATLAB and C++, the JUICE platform. And this is where you essentially learn coding. And we don't assume you have any specific background in coding. You could have done maybe a degree in music technology, you could have done a degree in electronics, you could have done a degree in music production, and it could be quite varied. And also the students that come onto the course have quite a varied range of backgrounds. For example, this year we've got students that come from music tech, some students that come from BSc sound engineering program that I also run, that's kind of the feeder into this course, but also students have come from doing filmmaking as well. So there's quite a varied range of backgrounds. So we don't assume we've got any particular, and also with the mathematics signal processing, again, we don't assume you might have done mathematics since you did your G3 qualifications or level 2 qualifications. So again, but we go from a point to kind of starting from scratch, but we kind of move fairly quickly, but there's a lot of support in place. There's a maths cafe which runs twice a week, which any student can take use of, and a lot of the MSc students do make use of that. So mathematics is kind of, because it can be quite a scary thing, and we understand that, so we realise that you may need additional support there, which we do provide. So essentially the mathematics is there at the foundation of pretty much everything you do with digital signals, because essentially it's all mathematical processes at the end of the day. Anything from increasing the sound of the signal through to delaying something, through to doing something really kind of interesting, like using sensor inputs from a camera or from a gyroscope in a mobile phone to controlling the pitch of an oscillator, for example. It's all just down to mathematical processes. So that's there to support that. And then second semester, in addition to audio programming too, we do digital signals. And this is again almost a continuation for the mathematics. DSP is essentially just a lot of mathematical processes, but you're applying them to either creating audio plugins, devices that do real-time manipulation of audio signals, and that could be for any process, any kind of creative, could be utilitarian, could be for broadcast purposes. And then the final module, emerging audio technologies, this focuses much more on for example, there's machine learning, VR, ambisonics, and sort of the new cutting edge stuff that's coming out, and especially if you're moving into further learning after your MSc, and also going into areas, anything from kind of sound recording through to broadcast or automotive audio. These kind of more immersive technologies are very much coming into the fore, especially with virtual reality having so much more place within gaming, for example. So we kind of look at all these areas within that module. And then the final audio engineering dissertation, this is kind of a triple module worth 60 credits, and this is where you do your project. This can be anything from that you've possibly got some eye on in terms of what you want to do after you've finished, whether you want to go into industry or whether you want to continue in education, maybe move on to a PhD. And this is something that's negotiated with your tutors, and you can do something, it's a large scale dissertation, you can do something with industry. And so for example, last year we had one student who did a project in collaboration with a company. They needed somebody to work on something and they needed a project, so that worked out really well. And that came through one of our contacts on our industry advisory board. So that's an example of how industry involvement is part of the embedded it and part of the course. So a few things, so industry engagement like I already mentioned, but a few specific things I think make this course quite unique. First of all, but also societies, our digital audio engineering programming has been running for about 6 months, and it's set up by the students on the MSc that we've had. In fact, weekend after next, we've got a professor from the States coming over, workshop on building a compressor limiter plugin from scratch in C++, and that's open to everybody, not just students on the course, but students from other courses within the university and also externally as well. And there's lots of events we run. We do we do trips abroad. We had a trip to Germany last year to the Super Booth event, which is kind of a sound and music and synthesis exhibition. In terms of postgraduate employment and things that go on, we've had, as I said, we're quite a new course still, but the students that finished last July, one is still with the university. He's just started a PhD. He's looking at tracking of vocal cord vibrations to pitch to be able to better translate speech. And we've got another student who's gone to work at Solid State Logic, which is based in Oxford, not too far from about 40 miles north of London. And Solid State Logic, they're essentially the Rolls-Royce of mixing console manufacturers, and he's gone into the research and development department there. And then we have another student who's gone freelance. He's working, designing and building his own modular synthesizer kind of units, and he's building sequencers and building envelope generators, and he's successfully selling those at the moment. And in terms of research PhDs, as I said, we have our one PhD student at the moment who's focusing on this sound translation kind of research. And also within the area, the various other members of staff, myself, there's about a group of 4 of us that teach on the course. And we are all research active. We already have PhDs or areas of research, everything from wireless audio networking through to audio and optical transmissions. I personally focus on, my area of expertise is on modular synthesis and composition. In terms of facilities and resources, we're quite lucky because although a lot of what the course is around is essentially around programming and spending a lot of time behind a computer screen, but also because we're part of obviously a bigger facility and also a bigger community of schools, including the London College of Music, which has a lot of related courses. So, for example, music and audio technology, live sound, and so on. They have an awful lot of facilities as well, and we get to use those facilities as part of the course. So if a student needs to get access to specific equipment, specific software, specific resource facility studios and so on, then that's all possible as well. So again, because the schools aren't huge, we've got good relationships and we're kind of based in the same building physically, so it's easy from that point of view for everybody to kind of mix and not only just use facilities, but just mix with other students on other courses. And that's one of the reasons why the societies are so good. And also any events that go on in other parts of the school that are relevant, perhaps even there's some work going on with the School of Psychology at the moment, where we've got students that are doing work with them that they're acquiring audio as part of some of their tests. And staff, students, community, I've kind of mentioned that already. So we've got quite a, this is relatively small community, which is really good, I think, and it means that we've got a much better relationship with our students. We know our students, we know them all by first names, and it makes it much better for us to support you and also for you to get more out of the experience as well. So I'm going to hand over to Wayne now, who's going to talk to you about MSc Cybersecurity.
Thanks, Nino. Sorry, give me a moment so that I can move back to the first slide. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to join this webinar. I'm very happy to meet you online. My name is Dr. Wei. Currently, I'm an associate professor working at the School of Computing and Engineering, University of West London. Today, I will give you an introduction to MSc Cybersecurity course. And actually, in addition to this regular MSc Cybersecurity course, we also offer a 6 months internship option. And depends on your interest, you can either choose this regular MSc Cybersecurity course, or you may like to take this MSc Cybersecurity with internship. Sorry, yeah. I'm the course leader for this MSc Cybersecurity, and here is a bit of information, contact information about myself. You are more than welcome to contact me. You can give me a call or you may drop an email, whichever you like. And if you join the course, I will also be your personal tutor. And I will do my very best to support you for any of the problem you may encounter. Either it's academic issues or non-academic issues. And here is the bit information, the basic information about this course. And actually, we run this course since February 2015. So this is the first run of this course. And since then, we have seen a steady growth on the student number. So each year now we have about 20 to 30 students, which is quite good and a healthy number. And many of our students, they have, after their graduation, they have found their job, which they are quite happy with. For this course, we offer both full-time study mode and part-time study mode. So for example, if you are working at the moment, you may consider to choose this part-time study mode. Depends on your availability, depends on your time. And in terms of student recruitment, we do both September intake and January intake. Again, this depends on your availability. And like I just mentioned, for full-time student, you may also to consider this taking this 6 months internship on top of the regular course. And this can help you to enhance your learning experience and it could be also benefit your future job hunting. And this course was created to provide professional education in both the theory and the practice of cybersecurity. You may have heard of this some prestigious information security professional bodies like ISP, which represents Institute of Information Security Professionals. They defined these key security disciplines and the security groups. And our course have very excellent coverage for these security disciplines and the skill groups in terms of the course contents. You understand cybersecurity is a very complex, very complicated issue. And our course will help you to gain comprehensive knowledge and practical skills on both technical and human dimension of cybersecurity. We also aware that many students, you may want to, after your graduation, you may want to do further studies like PhD. So through this course, you can also develop your research competencies, your research skills, so that you have a solid foundation for to pursue some higher degree. And after graduation, I believe you will have a very bright future in terms of the job. And I believe you understand that huge market demand for cybersecurity skills, cybersecurity professionals, and the UK government, they are investing hugely on this cybersecurity area. And after graduation, you can find job in this cybersecurity area in both public and private sectors, as long as computer security is an issue. Like I mentioned just now, many of our students, they have found a job in this cybersecurity area, and they're quite happy with this the job they found. Yeah. Okay, very importantly, okay, let's look at the structure of this course. And this course will offer 3 cybersecurity related core modules, which I highlighted in red color on the top of this table. The first core module is called Security Operations and Assurance. This module will cover security policies, regulations, standards, and management in modern enterprise and organizations. The second core module is called Network and System Security. This module will discuss network level security issues, which is very, very important. And also, this module will address security issues in software design and operating system levels. The next core module is Fundamentals of Cybersecurity. This module will discuss some fundamental issues in relation to cybersecurity. For example, cryptography, computer forensics, and ethical hacking, and penetration testing, something like that. If we move on to the next one, which is learning and professional development and employability skills and employment. These 2 modules, they are 0 credit modules. The first one, LPD, will be a core module for international student only. However, for the home student, EU student, and if you are interested, you can just feel free to take these modules. And the ESE module is a core module for students on internship only. Again, if you are interested, you are more than welcome to take this module. Research method is also a core module. And this module is just to give you a chance to get prepared before you taking up your MSc dissertation. So through this module, you will equipped with research skills, understand the research process, and develop dissertation proposal. And after your dissertation proposal is approved, then you have a dedicated whole semester to work on your MSc dissertation and project. And when you do your dissertation, you will have a dedicated supervisor to guide you through the whole process. If we move on, you can see there are some modules highlighted in green color. These are the option modules. We offer a wide range of option modules to widening your interest, to improve your learning experience. And our option modules cover a lot of very appealing, very hot topics, very exciting topics like machine learning, like big data analytics, knowledge management. All these are very technical oriented modules. And if you prefer some relatively soft modules, you can choose this consultancy and technical innovation or the principles of project management. For those students who are relatively weak in terms of programming, we also offer support to improve your programming skills. So this can be done through these programming support modules. Yeah, so to complete this course, you need to take 6 modules. This will include 3 core security modules, which I just introduced. And also you need to take this research methods modules. And you also need to choose 2 option modules from these option modules available. And after you complete these 6 total modules, then you will have 1 whole semester to work on your MSc dissertation. Again, like I said, you will have a dedicated supervisor to guide you through this process. And your dissertation must be on a security-related topic. So let's look at your course journey. So for full-time student, if you start on September this year, on the first semester, you need to take 3 modules. This will include 2 core security modules, which is security operations and assurance, plus network and system security. You also need to take 1 option module. And in your second semester, which is starting January 2020, you need to take 1 core security module, which is fundamentals of cybersecurity, plus research method, and also you need to take 1 option. So after you complete these 6 taught modules, then you can start your dissertation from May 2020. And after you submit your dissertation by end of August 2020, then you will complete your whole journey. So this will take you exactly 1 year. And if you want to do internship, then you need to start your internship before your dissertation, yeah? Like indicated by this red arrow. If you prefer to do part-time, then in your first semester, okay, this September, you need to take 1 security module, which is network and system security, and choose 1 option module. In your second semester, starting January 2020, you need to do your 1 core security module, which is fundamental of cybersecurity, plus 1 option module. Then you will have a summer break in 2020. When you're back for your third semester, okay, September 2020, then you need to complete 1 core security module, which is security operations and assurance plus research methods. And in January 2021, you can start your dissertation, or you may want to defer for 1 semester, which means you can start your dissertation from May 2021. So that is the schedule, okay, the journey of your course. And we have a very strong team to deliver this course, and they have very strong expertise directly on cybersecurity. For example, Colin has more than 20 years of teaching experience on cybersecurity subjects and the cybersecurity modules. Dr. Liang Chen, he has PhD in cybersecurity, I think graduated from Royal Holloway, University of London. Dr. Junaid Assad, he has PhD in cybersecurity as well, graduated from University of Leeds. So we have a very strong team to deliver this course. And all of them, they are part of the Cybersecurity Center, Cybersecurity Research Center, which is mentioned by Nino just now. And I will be responsible for your research method module and help you to facilitate your MSc dissertation project. Okay, here I show some other member of staff who are involved in the delivery of this course. Due to the time limitation, I won't introduce them one by one, but if you have any questions, okay, please do feel free to get in touch with me. In terms of the resources for this course, the school has brand new PC labs with both Windows and Linux operating system. And we also have a high-spec, high-end Linux server, which will be used to deliver this course. And of course, you are more than welcome to bring your own laptop for a better learning experience. And the software we use, most of them, they are open source. And I want to mention in the future, the university will be investing on the cybersecurity lab, which will provide better learning experience. Yeah, that's all I want to introduce for this course. And if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Wei and Nino. So I'd just like to open the webinar up to any questions that we have from any of our participants. So if you can just type your questions in the chat function, we will get back to you about that. Just whilst you're doing that, I'd also just like to put up some of our contact details. So if you do have any questions about any of the courses today, or if you'd like to come and visit us, or have general questions about the university, then you can contact us on this email address on the screen. That's courses@uwl.ac.uk, or you can give us a call on 0800 036 8888. Okay, so we've had a couple of questions come in. So the first one I'm going to hand over to Wei. So it's, I only have a bachelor's degree in media arts. Can I study cybersecurity at postgraduate level? So I'll just hand that over to Wei to answer.
Yeah, thank you so much for give this question. And before I answer that, I want to introduce the admission criteria for this course. So generally, we will consider students have relevant first degree in computing with the class of at least 2.2. However, we will definitely consider your working experience, your relevant working experience. Yeah. So I will encourage you to submit your application, and we will get back to you as soon as we can.
Great, thank you, Wei. And as I mentioned earlier at the start of the presentation, there is the opportunity within the application form to list any professional or voluntary work experience that you have. So please include that there. And there is the opportunity to include this information in your personal statement as well. Okay, so moving on to our next question, and Nino, this one is for you. So what industries are digital audio graduates working in?
So for the moment, we've got, as I said, we've got quite a new course, but the two areas that two of our graduates from last July are working in, one's working in digital audio engineering relating to mixing console manufacturer, and that's solid state logic. and the guy who graduated last semester, he's working now at SSL in the research and development department. And then the other guy, he's gone freelance and he's building his own embedded digital hardware modules for modular synthesizers. Students that we've got currently on the course, their areas of interest and what they're hoping to go into. We've got one person who's looking to go more into ambisonics and programming for multi-channel audio environments. We've got somebody else who's focusing more on audio forensics and looking at something called the electrical field recording, and which is essentially the noise hum that you get through electrical systems, and you can use that to identify when a recording was made and how you can try and codify that and analyze that better, especially for purposes of evidence for court cases and things like that, when people are using recordings of people have made secretly, or of phone messages and things like that. So it's quite varied. It's some students are actually, they're mature and they've been working more in sound recording and kind of more in the analog domain for a long time, but they've identified a kind of a gap in their knowledge, and they really want to be able to kind of get more into the digital side of things, especially in terms of software development. So some students I know currently on the course are looking to go into that area. So it's quite varied. That's one of the things we decided to make the course not very specific, whether specific relating to broadcasting or specific relating to audio, music, or gaming. We try to make it reasonably broad-based, so you can go a number of different areas after you graduate.
Great, thank you, Nino. So something actually linking on to that in terms of the graduate employment and career outcomes, we do also have a career service here at the university. So students, once they're studying here, have the opportunity to attend drop-in sessions with them. They can get in contact with the career service and do sort of mock interviews and things like that. So you can make regular visits to them. They're there and available to you to give you some sort of information and guidance on applying for jobs, the sort of jobs that are out there for you. So make sure if you do come and study here at the university, definitely link in with them. So it doesn't look like we have any further questions. So I'd just like to thank you very much for logging in and joining us here today. As I said, do try and come along to our open days or campus tour. They're a great opportunity to come and see the university, have a chat with the staff here and just get a feel for what it's like. So thank you very much, and thanks Wei and Nino for your course overviews today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.